Alrighty. Hey gang. Welcome back, you guys. Long time no see. Episode 157 of Zero Carb Journal. And I'm Matt, as not always apparently, but as I am. And nice to see you guys. Welcome back. Sorry for the long absence. I have been loving it, to be honest with you. And, when I left, I was like, I don't really have anything. I just keep saying the same things over and over, and I don't have much to share. And I got to be honest, it's the same situation now. I don't feel like I got a whole lot to update you guys on. I know it's been a long time. It's been 6 months, but nothing's changed. Hope you guys have made some progress and stayed your course and progressed on towards your goals. I have had a really good 6 months, to be honest with you. I had some wonderful travels. I got in my van and went and did some surfing, and that was really, really good for me. I spent a really nice month with my folks after things opened up a little bit and vaccines started to be available. I was able to finally go hang out with my family, and that was really nice. So I've been out and about a little bit, but for the most part, I've just been hanging out here. And I know what you guys are all wondering is, what are you eating? And nothing's changed, you guys. I haven't really changed much at all. When I went on the road, I did eat. Oh, it looks like I'm having issues with streaming. Wouldn't you know it? Well, we'll see if it works out. I'm just going to keep going. So when I went on the road, I did eat, obviously, out all the time. I was on the road for a couple months, and I lived pretty much off of fast food. I just ate hamburger patties from various places. My favorite is In-N-Out, but we don't have those up here. So, I just made do with whatever. Wendy's does pretty good for me. And I would typically, to try and get a little more fat, sometimes those fast food burgers are kind of lean. So if I could, I would order them with bacon. And as you guys know, bacon doesn't always agree with me, but it does tend to fulfill my fat cravings really well. So for the most part, while I was on the road, that's what I ate. I ate fast food burger patties and bacon and eggs. I found some burger places that, did eggs on their burgers, and so I would eat those whenever I could. I would sometimes go out for breakfast and get eggs and bacon and sometimes hamburger patties with that. It's one of my favorite things to order at a breakfast diner, although it's typically pretty expensive to order it that way, but I'll do like bacon and eggs with a side of burger patties if they'll do them, and that's really good. And occasionally I cooked for myself. I have a little flat top that goes in my van, so occasionally I would go to the store and buy ground beef, and it's just it would be all the same stuff. And so at the end of the day, after I did that a few times, I realized I wasn't really saving any money and I was losing a bunch of time, so I would pretty much ended up just eating the fast food, and it was great, and I felt great. I had a great time being out there on the road surfing. Oh, Sarah, I don't know how I missed you there. Hi. Nice to see you. Yeah, I saw your comment the other day that said I was alive, and so I figured I would. I've been feeling bad about not coming back and updating you guys, but geez, I haven't had anything to share. So I just was kind of like cruising on that 6 months ago, where I said I don't really have anything different, and pretty much the same. So I feel great. I'm super. I won't say I'm super fit. When I was on the road, I surfed a lot, which was awesome. I came back home and I was in the best surf shape I've been in years, because I surfed every day for like 2 months. So I got fit that way, but I dropped off on my workouts, so I lost my pull-ups and push-ups because it was difficult to keep up with when I was in my van. And I found now in my old age that I have a real hard time. If I work out, I don't have much gas left to go surfing, and vice versa. So it seems like it's one or the other. So yeah, Phoenix Bear, Gravy Boat, nice to see you. We're alive and actually thriving, to be honest. I feel my health has been great. I've been feeling really good. I did have I haven't had really any or regular. I shouldn't say not any, because I always have sick nights once in a while. But I haven't had any regular sick nights for a long time. Oh, meat vegan. Okay, cool, man. Nice to see you. So I haven't had any sick nights regularly for a long time, which, as you guys know, I would kind of go in and out of those. I did about 2 weeks ago actually experience it, and oddly enough, I was eating smoked salmon at that time, and and come to find out, I think that some brands of smoked salmon really messed me up. So I went and looked at some ingredients on some that I bought, and it had like soy protein and whatever else in there. And so I kind of screwed myself up eating that. But otherwise, I've been feeling great. And Sarah says, "Are you feeling good mentally?" And yeah, okay. I mean, about the same as always. I don't know. When I was out, actually, let me address that more appropriately. After I dropped off here and kind of started heading out on the road, I felt awesome. It was so good. And now I'm a little not so great mentally because I'm back and I've just been kind of stuck here. So I came home about tax time to take care of taxes, and I had a bunch of stuff here on the farm to do. I knocked a sump in the basement, rented a jackhammer, and I've just been working around the farm. And it's good. I'm getting stuff put behind me. But what I really want to do is be out. I don't want to be here, and so I'm doing fine mentally, but I'm not really where I want to be. I'd like to be out cruising around and traveling around, and so I'm here working a little bit, trying to make a little money and get myself so that I can do that. Right now, it's not really in the cards for me to just be out cruising around, so I'm back here, back to work, as it were, and yeah, I'm feeling fine, Sarah. I'm doing good. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I wish things were a little different. I really had hoped, a buddy and I had plans to go on a surf trip, and that was in my mind. I've been talking to you guys about it for years. I bought those plane tickets and then canceled them, and then bought them or got them back and canceled them, and we just canceled them again this spring. I think when I left off, I actually was still planning on doing that in like April of this year. But for various reasons, but mostly on my friend's side, he ended up having some surgeries, and we weren't able to go. And really, I was hoping to, have kind of saved up and been ready to start maybe heading to South America or whatever, and just trying to spend some months on the road. But as it turns out, I'm just not really able to do that right now, and so my van trip of surfing was kind of my interim sort of fill in to get a little bit of that, since it's been years since I was wanting to do it and I wasn't able to. So I did it, and now I'm back, and I'm working hard to try and get back out and go back and be a surf bum. So I came back up here because this is a nice place to spend the summer. It's a great place to surf, and it's cool, not hot. It's 58 out right now, or almost 60. So, this is a nice place to spend summer, but the surf has been awful, to be honest with you. I've gotten a few days of surf, but like I said, I surfed every day back in the spring, and then I came home and I've surfed, as much in the last 4 months or 3 months or whatever as I did in like 5 days when I was out on the road, right there at the beach. So, oddly enough, that's become more and more important to me. It used to be really important to me, and then I kind of dropped off, and now I'm finding that that's really what keeps me grounded and mentally keeps me good. So I'm doing good, but I can't wait to go. It's exciting to be excited about surfing, to be honest with you, and nothing made me feel better than just being there and doing it every day and being like, whoa, my body works really good, and I'm fit and nimble and spry and flexible, and I mean, it just felt great. And then I come here and I kind of sit around, and I have a hard time. I do my workouts, I actually just work out, and I don't have too much of a problem staying strong, but just game shape is hard to stay in. And so anyways, yeah, so I'm doing okay. So Sarah says my face lights up when talk about leaving the homestead, and I will get out again. I've been working so hard for many years now, not just what I've told you guys about, but when I first got sick and first built this shack and moved up here, that this was all part of my goal, was kind of to start making it possible for me to spend some time away from this place without giving it up entirely, because I love my property and I do picture myself here, in another 20 years, enjoying all the work I've done here and seeing it blossom into this permaculture paradise, which, I mean, you should see my fruit trees right now. Wow, it's incredible. I started planting them, a decade ago or so, and the last batch was right before I became carnivore, so 5 years ago or so, and they're just starting to all fruit, and yeah, I just love it here. So I want a break. I want to go somewhere warm and hang out and do some other stuff. So I've been working hard on that, and it's been going good. My renters are good. My house is good. Like I said, I did some work around it, some stuff that's going to allow me to spend some more time away from here. So I'm doing good. And then Phoenix Bear says, maybe you're where you're supposed to be and your anxiety is about resistance to that reality. Well, maybe, Phoenix Bear, but I've been here where I'm supposed to be for a long time. And don't get me wrong, I'm not like, don't get me wrong. I mean, I love what I've created here. I absolutely am so proud of it. And when I think about plans and goals, and I mean, I've really made myself a good situation. The reason I'm frustrated is because, or a little bit of frustration is because I've been working towards building this place up so I could have my cake and eat it too, as it were, and because of various things, pandemic, financial stuff, my personal situation, whatever, I haven't been putting that phase 2 into play. I mean, even when I bought this place 20 years ago, it was always a goal. I have a big shop and a barn, and so it was kind of like, hey, here's a place to put the stuff I want to keep, get myself a little landing pad, and then go out and do, voyages from there and come back. And so, no, I love it here, man. I do. I don't think I'm too anxious about being here, and I don't know anywhere else I'd really like to be right now in summer. I'm more just really saying that I'm just not surfing enough, and I kind of am ready to, but I'm not. I mean, I'm good. It's fine. It's all good. I'm enjoying the summer. This was kind of my plan, was summertime's here, settle in, take care of things, make some money, and spend it in a cool, relatively remote area, not packed with people, kind of in the woods. And so anyways, it's going good. So, I mean, for the most part, I mean, it'd be better if I was independently wealthy and zipping all over the globe, but I don't think any of us are really doing that. So anyways, Third Leg Base, nice to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, sorry for the long delay. So I just thought, I was like, well, it's time to give those guys an update, and so here I am. So physically, I'm about the same as I left off. I feel fit. I haven't changed much. Like I said, I haven't been working out as much, but I'm still maintaining fitness. One thing I was really interested in was my weight. I felt like when I was living in my van, I was, even though I was surfing and everything else, I felt like I was really putting on weight. I was like, oh man, you're just lazy. And it was funny because, I've been actually excited to put on weight. I've been trying to for a while now, for years, to try and get a little bit stronger. Crowdfund me. Nice, Phoenix Bear. I'd love that. Crowdfund my wave pool. Man, wouldn't that be awesome? That's a great idea. If I had a wave pool here, I would be in heaven. So anyways, yeah, one of the interesting things is, like I said, 6 months ago when I left you guys, I kind of dropped all my daily goals and everything, and I just went out and hit the road and kind of thought I'd just see what happened. And during that time, my routine obviously fell apart, so I wasn't eating the same things and I wasn't working out regularly. And I came home and I went and visited my parents, and my routine was all screwed up. I didn't really get back into working out, and so I was feeling like I was kind of like a big pile. I wasn't, but I was just like, oh, you're not on your game, you're not keeping things tight. And it was funny because just a few weeks ago, I found I was like, well, face the music, let's get on the scale, see what you're looking like, try on your old pants. I'd just been kind of lounging around all summer in shorts and sweats and whatever, and it's so funny, my weight hasn't changed almost at all. I think the last time I weighed myself, I was 140, and I think this time I was 143. So I did gain a few pounds, which, like I said, I was really hoping for. But my pants, the pants that used to be way too skinny and way too small, After, 5 years ago, I used to struggle to get into them, and now they just fit perfect, which is funny. So that was really kind of encouraging. Was just I've told you guys many times I'm sort of settled into this way of eating. I don't really think about it too much anymore. One of the reasons why I stopped doing the weekly journal was because I just was saying the same things, and here I am 6 months later, and my weight is pretty much the same as it was. I do feel like I actually do feel like I gained a little bit up here. I have never really had, I can kind of do that thing with your pecs now where they jump around. I never really could do that. And so I think, gaining muscle still, which has been interesting. So anyways, yeah, zero carb, carnivore, whatever. It continues for me to seem like a miracle. It's just so easy to stay fit and, all that. So even when I drop off my routine and everything else, I leave it alone for 6 months and come back and I'm like, yeah, I'm still doing pretty good. So anyways, all that's great. Physically, I've been doing really good. Mentally pretty good. I'm just kind of hanging out here in my shack. It was fun to be out on the road because I did have more interaction, even if I wasn't really interacting with people, just kind of like having them around, walking around the van at the beach or whatever. I tell you, I leave here after being such a hermit for so many months, and I go to a really crowded place that I usually, I would think in my brain, like, oh, I don't want to go there, it's crowded. And I go and I actually find myself really enjoying it. So there's something there with regards to my mental state as well, Sarah, for sure, that I definitely, socialization is really good. It's really difficult for me to find when I'm here. When I'm out on the road, to be honest with you, I don't think I made a single personal connection in all that time, but it was just nice to be around people. I haven't made any personal connections for a long time, so I think just a loner is going to be how it's going to go. But yeah, it was good to be out, and I'm looking forward to doing it again for sure. Now, I was really excited to do some social stuff this summer. I had these. If you guys remember, 2 years ago, I went to my van festival and met a bunch of wonderful people and had just a great time socializing for like a week. And it was one of the few events or things that I felt I could do where I would really meet people who I, connected with. And yeah, it was a really good social outlet for me. So I bought tickets for the one that's going on this summer. And I've been building up a van for 2 years. I've been so excited. It's kind of been the thing that I really was heading towards. It was kind of like my motivation was I can't wait to go to the event in September. And for the last 2 years, I've really been focused on it. And as it turns out, my sister scheduled her wedding on the same day, so I can't go. And so I learned that back in the spring, and it really kind of bummed me out. It really screwed up my whole summer because my plan was to take this big van I've been building for 2 years, and I was hoping to go out into the desert and ride motorcycles and putter my way down to this desert event. And when I found out I needed to be back here, when I wanted to spend months going away from here and not coming back, and the van that I built up for this was a giant 4x4 gas guzzler with like 6 miles to the gallon. And so I was really hoping to just kind of slowly tour into the desert and spend kind of all summer doing that. And then my sister announced her wedding date, and I realized that I couldn't do that. And so I sold the van. And I've just been staying home, and I'm just kind of waiting for this wedding to happen, and then I'll do some final things around here and probably head out and hopefully stay gone all winter. So that's what I'm kind of heading for. Is my goal is to get on the road, get in the van in like October, and not come back until April or May of next year. So try and skip the whole winter up here. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know if it's going to work out. I have some details to sort out. But yeah, so my plans changed kind of dramatically, and so I was a little bit. That's part of the mental thing, Sarah, is that being here this summer isn't really what I was hoping for. When I was on the road in the spring, I was like, okay, I'm going to go home fix up the big van because in my other had two vans. I had my old little minivan, which you guys have seen, which I've traveled in before, and then I had bought this big giant monster and been building it up. But like I said, it wasn't going to happen this year, and that wasn't the right vehicle for my winter surf trips into urban areas. My minivan's much better for that and much more economical, and I can afford it. so I sold that big one, and yeah, so my plans changed. So I just kind of ended up here this summer when I really kind of wasn't planning on it. But yeah, so what else? What have I been eating? I think I told you guys that. So lately it's just been frozen burgers. I've been buying frozen burgers, sometimes from Costco, sometimes from Walmart. I tried out a bunch of different ones and found the ones that didn't offend me or offended me the least. They all taste kind of like garbage, but they end up, I feel fine, and as long as I squish them really flat and burn the crap out of them, then I can handle them. So I've been eating mostly burgers and eggs. I do have bacon with that sometimes these days. I've been kind of cavalier with bacon. I realize that I'm probably never, ever going to make, solid poo like other people. So the bacon doesn't really seem to matter one way or the other. And so yeah, so I've been eating mostly those things. Now I did do something interesting. I do have a zero carb thing to talk about. One of the things I did it about a month ago, but I did a deep dive on Bear, on Owsley Stanley, and man, I got so much inspiration from that man. What a blessing that we have some of his writings still around, and what a blessing for all of us that he blazed the path that he did, in my opinion. So I won't go too deep into it because I could talk and talk and talk and talk, but I just was really inspired by Bear, Owsley Stanley, if you're not familiar, the famous LSD chemist and Grateful Dead sound man and all that. And I did a deep dive on him and went back and read his journals. And one of the things he talked about was how he ate. And he pretty much did kind of a Anderson type deal. The Andersons, if you know them, they've pretty much been on steak ribeyes for 30 years or whatever. And Bear was mostly New York strip steaks, it sounds like, for the better part of 50 years. And he talked about swallowing and chewing. One of the problems I have with steak is I don't care for the gristly bits, and I end up chewing on them and getting grossed out and spitting them out. And he was like, look at the way your cat or dog eats, or other carnivores, they just chew it and swallow it. And so for a while there, I dedicated myself to a couple weeks of eating only steak, and I tried to cook it kind of rare, because I usually cook things so well done, and people always, make a fuss about that. And so I thought maybe I'll see if there's a difference. So I did. I ate steaks, mostly New York, a couple ribeyes, a couple T-bones, but I ate steak and eggs, but cooked, more normally steaks for a couple weeks. And to be honest, I didn't notice any difference in my digestion or anything. It felt about the same as when I eat my burned flat burgers, and I didn't enjoy it as much. As a matter of fact, I would often take the steaks the next day and dice them up and kind of burn them, fry them, so I could eat them with my eggs and enjoy them a little more. So I then kind of drifted back to where I am now with the burgers, and it certainly is more affordable, and it certainly is more convenient. Yeah, so there you go. So at any rate, I'm heading towards 5 years. I think it's February is when my carniversary is. So I'm at about 4.5 years at this point of really what most people would consider pretty strict carnivore. I haven't really drifted at all because I am scared. I mean, right now I have these amazing thornless boysenberries or something. I bought a bunch of berry plants years ago and planted them all over, and they're now becoming established, and there's a patch right over here. And I put one in my mouth and I kind of squish the juice out on my tongue, and man, I spit it out so fast. It doesn't taste gross. Those ones are actually they're not too sweet for me. They're nice. It's a good flavor. But man, the seeds and the hair, they instantly start to scare me. And then as soon as I spit it out, my teeth are all like covered in the sugary slime. I don't like it. It's funny. And I have plum tree right there, and I'll do the same thing. I'll kind of take a bite, and I'll be like, ooh, maybe you should swallow this one and see if fiber helps, or if fiber, what fiber does. And I'll just get a little ways into it, and I'll be like, ooh, no, spit it out, and then my mouth feels all gross, and so I don't want it. It's really interesting. I've raspberries. I've done the same thing. I've got some really nice raspberry patches here, and they hit my mouth, and I think maybe I'm gonna like it, and I squeeze the juice in my mouth, and I go, yeah, no, I don't like that. Strawberries, I did the same thing. So this summer I've kind of been trying, not really trying to eat it, but just sort of letting the option sort of exist there, and it turns out I don't really want to eat any carbs. So yeah, almost 5 years, and I think what most people would say really straight, because I haven't done really anything at all. Cuner, been thinking about you, bud. I was hoping to see you here. You're not late. I'm late. I'm doing great, man. I'm doing good. I'm healthy and pretty happy, and been surfing as much as I did surf a ton, and now I've been surfing a little. The weather hasn't been great, but the surf hasn't been cooperating. But I've been surfing as much as I can, and I'm doing well, doing really well. And Sarah nailed it. Being home and having the opportunity to do some boat work, stove work, and make some progress on some other opportunities. And I've really been focusing on my stove work. Those of you who've caught me over at Stove Chat know that I've been putting my time in, doing my weekly chore over there, as it were, and working on my website. I did some new designs this spring. So yeah, I've just been kind of focused on my program, but not much has changed. And so yeah, so there's that. So I gotta say, you guys, I'm loving the lack of sort of responsibility that I've built into my life as of late. I'm sort of reveling in not having much that I have to do. I mean, I'm staying busy. There's plenty of things to do, and there are some things I have to do with regards to my rental house, my property, and my stove business, and this and that. But for the most part, I've been really enjoying living a real simple life, and living really pretty quietly and pretty wide open with regards to what's possible. So that's kind of my way of saying that I've been enjoying not having a journal schedule for zero carb stuff. I still feel the same way. I still feel like I don't have a whole lot that's really interesting to share with you guys. My diet hasn't changed much, and my life is sort of, I guess a lot of us are really sort of in a holding pattern. And I'm no different. I've just been kind of holding. I've kicked around some ideas and making changes. I do kind of feel like the longer I do this sort of holding pattern, the more the more inspired I am to start on something new, and kind of the more I'm sort of figuring out what it is I might want to do next. So that's been fun, but I guess is my way of saying that I'm gonna probably do the same thing. I'm probably gonna stay away from it for a while. I don't think it'll be every, hopefully it'll do more than every 6 months. Sarah says every 6 months will work, but forever gone was sad. So here's the thing, just like last time, I promise you guys I won't go away forever. I promise you. I really will update you if I change my diet or if something happens. And I said that before, and I really mean it. And if you don't hear from me for a long time, then you can probably just assume that nothing's changed. And if I'm really quiet, then hopefully I'm out in my van on the beach somewhere, just having a great time. So that's kind of the biggest reason I wanted to come back, was just to let you guys know that I'm not gone forever. And most importantly, I haven't fallen off. I didn't change my mind. I didn't find something better. I still, as a matter of fact, I think I'm more committed to carnivore than I've ever been. Reading Bear's words were really inspiring for me. They really gave me a lot of confidence. Highly recommended if you haven't. There's a few places to find him, but I think that the justmeat.co, if you're not familiar with that website, that's, I think, Michael's, I can't remember his last name, but he's a Twitter friend. And his website, justmeat.co, is a place where there's just he's collected a bunch of writings, and he has all of Bear's writings, and the most interesting ones are what Bear posted on the on a keto forum. I think it was a keto forum ages ago. Oh, that's right, it was what's his name, Jimmy. He's another Twitter guy. I don't remember what his name is, but he's a keto guy, and back in the early 2000s, Bear was posting kind of his manifesto, as it were. And it's just really interesting to eat. A guy who'd been carnivore for 50 years, how he discovered carnivore, which was through Stephenson. What worked for him, how he toured with the Dead, all during the 60s and 70s, early 70s, and then he went to jail for a little while for making acid, and then came back and was back with the Dead for a while. And just a really interesting guy. He was able to stay carnivore in prison, which is pretty cool. He traded with the black Muslims, I think he said, because they wouldn't eat pork and something else. I don't remember how he did it, but he traded his cigarettes for meat. Anyways, cool guy, really inspiring, and his knowledge and understanding, of human nature, I think, is really what opened my eyes, and it really gave me a lot of insights into being a carnivore and staying a carnivore in a society full of people who don't believe you. So Cuner, did I start playing bass? I actually need to start playing music again. I've been going in and out, but I don't know if but playing music was a huge part of my life forever. I have played in bands and toured all over in bands, and I've been a recording engineer and had a studio and recorded a ton of great bands. I have a ton of friends. I've those relationships are something I'm really proud of. I won't be doing any name drops, but you can go find my real name on IMDb and for film sound, and on I don't know where my record credit, if there's a history of it, but I've got some pretty neat records out there that I've been a part of that I'm really proud of. And so I've always been a bass player and a guitarist. To be honest with you, up until I got sick about whatever it was, when I really started getting depressed and really started suffering from inflammation from my old diet, I pretty much stopped playing music. And a lot of it was because of my fingers. They were always so inflamed, and from boat work and tools, I kind of stopped playing. And then a big part of it is that I've always been a collaborator. I've never been one who, took the main stage. I was always off to the side. Supporting roles, that's kind of where I'm most comfortable, except for this, I guess. But when it comes to music, I was always more comfortable in supporting roles. And all my life, when I started playing guitar, I was playing with people. And to be honest with you, a big part of the reason for quitting music is because I'm just alone, and playing music by myself it doesn't inspire me at all. I just go over the same old ground over and over and over again. So my brother's been doing a pretty good job of inspiring me. He's an amazing musician, and he's been really disciplined at woodshedding and just, spending time by himself and practicing his instrument. He picked up a new instrument at 50 years old, and after already mastering all the other ones. And, so I keep trying, but I'm just finding that I have the discipline for my workouts, but I just haven't been able to discipline myself to play music when, like I said, I just used to get so much joy out of playing with other people. And that really was what I really realized was that's what I liked. And so playing by myself hasn't been much fun. Now, that van event that I was going to go to this year that was canceled when I went, 2 years ago, I played a ton of music. So it seems like if I just get in a group with people, I'll pick up my guitar or bass again. But doing it on my own, I just don't. So, but I did pack a guitar in my van, and hopefully I'll get it going again. So Keener says, cool, I've been listening to a lot of John Scofield lately. Well, that'll inspire you for sure. There's an unattainable master. Absolutely. What an incredible guitarist. Yeah, and Keener says that Just Meat website is great. Thanks for reminding me. And yeah, if anyone who hasn't checked out justmeat.co, it's a weird .co. It's not com, it's just co. And all one word, justmeat.co. Fantastic resource. So much great literature and references in there. And like I said, I've been really inspired to read Bear's everything that he wrote, really, his writings, and really kind of, well, it's kind of like what this journal does, you know, like we don't, like in my immediate surroundings, I don't really have much carnivore culture, right? Excuse me, that reinforces my conviction to stay here, and so reading Bear's writings just made me feel kind of at home, like there was other people there, like I was part of a culture of us, and so yeah, so that was really nice. So anyways, I don't really have much more to tell you guys. It's Sunday. It's we're under clouds right now, which is nice. It's been smoky here for a few days, although we had a nice clear summer with no smoke for the most part. Last few days we got hot and smoky again, and now it looks like we're getting onshore flow from the ocean, and the smoke's going to clear up, so it's going to be a nice cool day. I've been working on my van a lot. Yesterday I worked on the suspension and just kind of getting it ready for what I hope to be is a you know, a good time on the road this winter. And I'll tell you, if it works out, I'd like to go all over at least the southern parts of the state. So those of you who are in warmer areas, perhaps I'll come see you this winter. We'll see. I'm really hoping to. So anyways, you guys, I apologize for staying gone so long, but know that I'm doing good, and know that carnivore is still my path. I can't tell you guys how much I appreciate all you being here and showing up and supporting me. Thank you so much. And Sarah says it's hotter than blue blazes in Tennessee. I'm sure it is, Sarah. Hopefully it'll cool off for you soon. I think we've got some cooling coming here. I think it's coming your way from my neck of the woods. So hopefully you guys cool off. But hopefully you guys have some nice mild weather this winter, because I think I'd like to come out that way and see what surfing on the East Coast is like and all that. So we'll see. I don't know if I'll make it or not, but it's in my head that I might like to try. But with that said, you guys, I think I'm gonna end this stream and get on with my Sunday. Looks like we're starting to break through the fog out there, so maybe it'll warm up a little bit, but I'm gonna go putter around in my shop and yeah, get ready for another week of progress, I hope. So thank you guys so much for all your support and comments, and for hanging out with me when I do these things. I hope you guys are making progress. I hope you guys are finding your health and all that. And I don't know what else to say other than I really appreciate all you still being around, and I promise I'll come back at some point and give you an update. I doubt I'll stay quiet until February, but if I do, then for sure I'll come back when we get to 5 years. Hey, come here. Let's say hi to the people. I promise I'll come back when we get to 5 years, and me and Waylon will give you an update. But here's Waylon. He's still a carnivore. He does his chicken legs. Good boy, bud. You wagging your tail, huh? He's pretty happy right now. So, go outside, dude. So, I will come back, and I will keep you guys posted. So, Sarah, thank you. Until next time. Cuner as well. Third Leg Base. Phoenix Bear, my meat vegan friend. I really appreciate all you guys. Everyone else who watches and comments after the fact, thank you so much for being along on my journey. And it's still going on. So just know that I am still progressing and still persevering, as it were. So, Waylon says hi, Sarah. All right, you guys, I'm going to hit the outgoing video. And I'm going to wish you guys a really, really great Sunday and a really great time. All right, you guys. Take care. See you before too long, I hope.